page 283, solving inverse proportion problems. Should all be open to page 283, not merely having your book on top of your desks. Thank you. So let's say example 14, it says y is inversely proportional to x and y is 20 when x is 8. So if we've got, let's see here, part A, y equals 20, x equals 8. Well, what do we always know if we're trying to find it right away? How do we find the constant of proportionality?
Sorry, multiply. Oh.
Inverse proportionality. When we have problems with inverse proportionality, what does it look like? We know y equals kx is when it is a direct proportion. When it is an inverse proportion, it is
Multiplying.
so xy equals k. So now we know we need to do 20 times 8 equals 160, which is our k value. So now I know that my constant of proportionality is 160. Then it says write an inverse proportion that relates x and y. So that would just be xy equals 160. Done.
In the book.
What about in the book?
Never mind.
Part B, it says the same thing. Inverse proportion equation. xy equals 160 or x equals 160 over y equals 160 over x. You can have it be either way. I am probably always going to lean towards doing it this way because it is the simpler way to understand it. But if you want to do it the other way, I will not take that away from you. Part C, find the value of y when x equals 5. Well, all I got to do, xy equals 160. I input what I already know, which is that x equals 5, so if I have 5 times y equals 160, to get what I do to undo this multiplication, I divide by 5. Both of these divide by 5. Y equals, I believe, 32 is what you're going to get out of there. That's all you have to do to solve it. Guided practice, you guys can do, well, I'm going to give you, go over, no, you guys can do a guided practice number 6 right now. If you are done, come bring your paper up to me to check with me. What did you get for a seat? Okay, you got it. value of x when y is 10. I believe you just found the value of x when y when x was 10. Wait, what'd you have for the value what'd you have for your constant proportionality, Joe?
15.
And what was your equation for part B?
XY equals 15.
Mm-hmm. And you just did C wrong. Alright, so you should have gotten the first two by now. It's pretty obvious. If y is 3 and x is 5, xy equals 15 is what you should have for your constant proportionality and your inverse proportion. You've got xy equals 15. It's as simple as, hey, they said y is 10, I replace that with 10. 15 divided by 10 divided by 10. What's 15 divided by 10? It is 1.5. Ooh, that was super tough. Alright, that real world problem on the bottom page 284 boils down to this. You've got two workers and they take 6 hours to do a job. This is really applicable to real life. For example, I'm going to be helping some other people at Miss Gross' house paint some stuff on Saturday. And let's say that there's two workers and it takes 6 hours for them to do that stuff. That means there's how many hours of work total to do? Joe?
Oh, I have the answer.
That's not what I'm asking. I said it means there's how many hours of work to do total? There's two workers and it takes 6 hours.
Yeah.
How many hours of work to do is there total?
6 hours.
No.
Oh, God, no. I completely zoned out and just did the problem.
If there's two workers and it takes 6 hours for them to do the work, how many hours of their work is there to do? 12. That is also known as your what? Well, it is an inverse proportion, but it is known as your what? Your constant of proportionality. So you could say, hey, this is x, that's y. Hey, x times y equals, 12. Well, if we know that's going to equal 12 hours total and we have 4 workers, how many hours are they going to be working? Think. 4 times what is 12? 3. It's going to take 3 hours. You can do all the other fancy stuff, everything else. Yes, I need you to show your work. You can do all this other stuff that you were doing before. It's the exact same. Hey, look, that's x, that's y. But you don't need to. This is probably about as easy as it's going to get for a real world problem, because it just shows you, bam, that's that, bam, that's that. Okay, we're good to go. You guys can do guided practice 7 and then come up and check with me, and you can get the assignment at that time when you're done. Charles, you can turn.